What's going on, guys? It's Mike for Sim Racing 604 and welcome to another sim racing track guide. This time I'll be taking you around the track I've had the most requests for, which is Spa Francorchamps. I'll be demonstrating my lap at Spa in Assetto Corsa's RSS Bayro V6 with a stock setup, and GT3 at Spa seems to be right now the most common pairing you'll see in online racing. And like the two previous videos, I'll state at this point that I'm no alien and this is not meant as a masterclass on conquering every last nuance of Spa, but hopefully some of the tips in the video will help new sim racers find a bit of extra speed or help out those of you who are having a tough time getting consistent lap times around the circuit. So I'll be taking you around at 1/4 speed at first, giving you tips and what goes through my mind when I lap Spa, and then we'll finish up with what it looks like at full speed. Thanks for watching, guys. Enjoy the laps, and we'll see you next time. Alright guys, so beginning our lap here at Spa, coming out of the final chicane, the pit entry lane we have already passed. So be careful on the right here. It's tempting to take a lot of curb there on your exit, but that curb can very much upset the traction on your rear tires. You might not be able to carry as much speed as you'd like. So this is the start-finish straight here. We're about to cross the start-finish line right about now. And we're just kind of fading to the left, setting up for turn one. Turn one of the slowest points on this entire 7-kilometer circuit. And you can see the brake marker on the left. You can see that 150 right there. The 100 is less easy to see because it's set back about 20 feet, but not long after you pass that in this GT3, you want to start braking and setting up again for a very slow. You can see my speed is just dropping down around the 80k mark now, and didn't take a great line through here. It's sort of a late apex curve, and I lost a bit of speed there by turning in too early. And on the exit, of course, you want to get on the throttle as soon as possible. But like the final chicane, be mindful of that curb on your left. That can actually hurt you if you finish too far wide. Those curbs, very, very rough, and you don't get as much traction as you'd possibly want. So as we make our way down this straight, some of you might know this as the start-finish straight. This is where the GT cars start. You probably know that from racing in Assetto Corsa Competizione. So somewhere right around that total sign is where the start-finish line is for the GT3s. And that ahead of us, that big hill, is the famous Eau Rouge, one of the most famous race corners in the world. And we're going to approach it very aggressively. You can see how hard I'm going at this curb. This one is not bumpy. And then immediately we're going to set up for Radion. Notice that speed, 240 kilometers an hour still going here, and flat out throttle. So very, very scary, very dangerous corner here. We've seen a lot of very bad crashes here, but Eau Rouge Radion, one of the most satisfying corner complexes in racing for sure. When you hit it right, it just feels excellent. So there's a reason it's one of the most famous curves in the world. And then we begin our ascent up the Kemmel Straight. It is just that. It is very, very straight. It is uphill. Your engine's going to be working overtime. Make sure you time your shifts right. You don't want to immediately go necessarily to your top gear. You might actually lose speed by doing that. So make sure you're looking at your RPM range and keeping it in that power band. If you shift too early into your top gear, you might actually lose speed. Top speed for me here on the baseline setup is somewhere around 260 kilometers an hour up the Kemmel Straight, but I've certainly hit 270 plus in other GT3 cars while working a setup. But we'll keep it stock here, looking for that curbing on the left there, and just when the nose gets past the start of that curbing, I'm going to brake very, very hard down 4 gears in this case. Some of you might just go down to 3rd gear depending on the car, and then just clipping the apex as we make our way into Les Combes. Les Combes is one of my least favorite sections in all of racing. I always struggle with this. I always find that I never have enough traction. So yeah, it's just weird camber, and you're sort of cresting a mountain while doing it. So I really struggle through here. So just be mindful. You see me, I'm very, very conservative with the throttle. I recommend you do the same while you're learning it. But once you get through the right-hander, left-hander, right-hander complex there, you get a little break here as we crest the mountain once again, and you can't see the next curve, but it is there, I promise you. But this is a little short straight section where you can take a breather, looking for that curbing on your left. And as soon as the nose passes the start of that curbing, again down nice and slow. You can see the rubbered in section of the track here. You want to pretty much stick to that. It's going to lead you into a late apex. You can see I'm away from the curbing, and then when that green shows, I want to kind of dive into it and take a late apex here to carry as much speed into the next very short straight section. So I'm full throttle right here, and immediately going to the right-hand section of the track to set up for a left-hand curve there. Little tap on the brakes, just enough to shift the weight forward, get enough traction into the front tires to make my way around this corner here. And then another easy downhill straight section here. Well, it's not technically straight. This is actually a gentle bend to the right, but nothing to really contend with. So just flat out here, looking for the curbing that starts. You can kind of see it. It starts on the right-hand side of the track, coming into a corner. You might know it as Pouillon, and in some Formula cars, this is flat out, and it's unbelievably fun and challenging. So about halfway down this curbing, I'm going to brake quite hard here, take out enough speed to where I can make it around this corner. This corner can feel deceptively sharp. Like I said, unbelievably, some Formula cars can take this flat out, but you want to just set yourself up finishing wide here, keeping 2 tires on the track, 2 on the curb is fine. And then again into the second part of this corner. They call it double gauche. That's a better name than Pouillon, I would say. And the second part of the double gauche is easily flat out, and then a nice wide finish here. I probably put 4 tires off there, but not by much. And then setting up for a double, almost a mirrored corner here, looking for the curbing. I always brake just a little bit before the curbing starts on the left there. Most cars, this will be 3rd gear. I took 2nd gear here in this Bayro V6. So it's just, you can see the throttle being modulated there in the lower left. I'm on the power as much as I can, just keeping that traction right at the edge. And then the second part, again, I'm going to take some out and just really modulating that throttle, giving it as much as I can. Then we pass the apex, bam, you hit it hard, and maximize your exit speed. And no rest for us. We're going to immediately have to start shifting left, or moving left rather. And then about the start of the curbing, again, this time down 2 gears for sure. This is a 2nd gear GT3 corner. It looks similar to the previous 2 corners, but it's a little bit slower, a little bit tighter. And a nice wide finish here. Be careful, don't finish too wide. I've thrown away good laps at that curve. And then this one could be flat out. I didn't quite make it flat out here in the Bayro V6, but very, very close. A lot of GT3 cars will handle this flat out, no problem. And then we begin a, how would you say it, a windy straight section, a windy flat out section, as we make our way through the final sector of this track. So again, flat out for probably about 30 seconds now, maybe 20 seconds. And you're just kind of managing your corner speed. Or not managing your corner speed, rather managing your corner lines. Just gentle, in, out. Fading right, fading left. Nothing too serious here. Francorchamps, very famous corner. And again, I was on the right there, just gentle fade to the left here as we go around the first part. And then I'm going to go out nice and wide here. This is the curbing on the left there signifies the only real tight section, the only tight area of Francorchamps. And you should be able to take this flat out in most GT or Formula cars. Road cars will have trouble with that. You'll probably have to lift and maybe even brake. But a nice wide finish there. Again, nothing too aggressive, just gentle, 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 just soft and easy through Blanchimont. Now, this is quite a difficult, they call this the chicane or the bus stop chicane, which is a throwback to an older layout. And you want to just really be mindful of your braking point here. Mine was at about the 120 mark and just hard, just absolutely stomping the brakes, trying to take out lots of speed, get it down into first gear. And this is the final chicane here. Staying right as we exit because we have another part of the chicane still to go. And clipping that exit. And again, just be mindful of your finish here. Same way we started this lap. If you take too much of that curb, it's really going to ruin your chances of getting good acceleration because that curbing will bounce the car quite a bit. And I did that here. Actually, you should stay a little bit further inside than I was. And then we approach the start-finish line right about here to finish our lap of Spa. All right, so let's look at that at full speed.